also lights up, which is very convenient because for the X1 you have the buttons at the bottom, which is kind of small, and then for the XF you have it at the back. So for now, for convenience sake, they actually put it on the right side, which is nice. Okay, and if you look at the bottom here, it says GPS dual system. So yes, this one now has GPS and gyroscopic feature incorporated into it, which is really cool. And then you have this new screen, which is larger than the before. Okay, now let's take a look at the back. Okay, so at the back here, so this is where you're going to mount the holder inside here, which I'll show you later. Okay, and then you have this port here. So this port basically connects to the computer. So let's say if you want to update the features, you want to update the system, the software, everything you go through here. Okay, and then this is the port where you connect the OBD2 port, okay, inside here to power it up. Okay, nice. So let's put this aside for the moment, and let's see what else is inside here. Okay, let's open this up. Open this up. Okay, so firstly, you have this. So this is the cabling for the OBD2 port. So this one basically connects to the OBD2 port of the car, and this one connects to the back end of your device. As simple as that. All right, put this aside. Okay, and then this one right here. So this is the holder. So I have to open it up, just like this, and you can see now it actually comes together assembled, which is really convenient. Okay, so you can see this one basically is actually rotatable. You can rotate how you want. And then this inside here, you still have this, so the 3M tape. So basically this one just sticks at the back here, and then you stick on the dashboard of the car. Okay, so now let me show you how to install this onto the device. So firstly, you can see this screw here, right? What you have to do is just to remove this. Okay, just rotate it anti-clockwise. Okay, once you are done with it, you put it aside. Okay, and then this one also you put it aside, just like this. And then you have this device. Okay, so the device, you can see, right, how it works is basically you connect like that. It just goes in. So first you take the screw, okay, you push it in just like this. Okay, make sure it enters perfectly. Okay, see, now once it enters, right, you take this, you put on top like that. Okay, and then you take this, and then you just screw it up clockwise this time. Okay, just turn. Okay, and there you have it. Once it's nice and tight, okay, so you can see you have now the holder in place, which is really nice. So you can just put it like this. Yeah, okay, cool. So now let's head towards the car and start it up. Okay, now I'm in my car. So in order to power up the device, all you have to do is you have to take the back end of the cable. So this one right here actually goes into the OBD2 port of your car, which is usually located below the steering right here. So for my case, it's right here. All you have to do is to plug it in, just like this, inside here. Okay. Now if you're wondering why is there a tiny cable here, so this is called the ACC Smart Detection Line, and what it does is you will need to connect this to the ignition switch or also the fuse of the AC switch only if the device doesn't turn on when the vehicle is started or vice versa. If not, you wouldn't need to use this. Once that's done, you take the other end of the cable. Okay, this one right here, let it focus. Okay, so this one goes right inside here. Okay, as simple as that. So you just push it in. Okay, let it go in. There you have it. Now let me just remind you guys that this part is very important during installation. The white color tab needs to be inserted properly inside the device. If not, the data transmission wouldn't be accurate. So you can see this white color tab here. This one needs to be on top. So you just push it in, slide it right in, and you push until you hear a sound. Tap. Okay, there you go. You can see it's not loose, it's very tight. Even you pull, it doesn't come off. Here's a photo of the proper installation of the cable itself. Okay, so now the device is on. Okay, so now the device is up and running. So firstly, let me explain the buttons on the right here. So we have 4 different buttons. So the top here basically scrolls through the display. So you got up and down, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Then you press this to go to the settings, the different setups, and this one is back. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, now you have 7 different displays to choose from. So this will be the first, this will be the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and 7. So yeah, there are 7 total different displays as compared to the XF, which only has 5. Okay, this one has 2 new displays, which will be this. So like I said, remember this one has the GPS and a gyroscopic meter. So basically now you have a G meter. So if you see this F1 car, right, you see the yellow ball. So basically when you corner left and right, you can see the G going towards the left or the right, which is nice. Then this one shows you the RPM. You have different animations as well. So when you brake, it shows you how much you brakes, the G-force. Okay, you also bottom here you have the peak value, which is cool. Okay, and then here this will be another one, the gyroscopic feature. So notice when I turn right, you can see the compass actually moves, which is really cool. Okay, and then you have the pitch. So pitch basically if you go forward and backward, yep, row is going left and right. Yeah, very interesting, like how they actually incorporate it into this device. Okay, right. So at the end of the day, you can see most of this device, right, everything, you have the different animations for each display. Okay, so you can see each of them has their own animation. Yep, so this one you can see they got a compass in the middle, the direction you're heading towards. Okay, so yeah, and then my favorite would be this. So this one basically shows you all 12 different displays. I always use this because this one shows you the most info. Okay, it's very useful. Okay, now let's go to settings, setup. Firstly, let's just look at the system setup. All right, so you press on it. So basically this one for the unit, you can change whether you want kilometers per hour, you want Celsius, or if you don't want, you can press on it, you can change. So firstly, you can change the, you can see you can change the PSI. all right. If you want to change the next, you have to press this again. So you can see you can change the Fahrenheit, Celsius. all right, you have miles per hour, yep, just like this. Okay, and then you have speed adjust. Okay, so speed adjust, basically what it does is, let's say if you're driving and then you notice that your speedometer is not the same as what it shows here, you can actually adjust from here. Same for the rest as well. So all of this you can change. All right, okay, so back, and then next will be display setup. All right, so for display setup, first you click on item setup. So this one basically allows you to change anything you want to change from. Like let's say you got a lot of display which you can, a lot of data which you can display. So let's say if you notice that you don't want voltage, okay, for example, so all this you can change. So you say you go to the next page, right, like here it shows you speed, water temperature and fuel consumption. If you don't want water temperature, you also can change it anyways. Okay, so basically you click item setup. All right, then you click this, you go to the next one. Okay, let's say the logo, you press on this, you press again. All right, if you don't want this, you can see tachometer, turbo intake pressure. All right, there are a lot of different kind of things. Now different cars have different data shown. So for my example, my car does not have turbo, so basically it doesn't show you the turbo pressure. So let's say if you are driving a turbocharged car, usually it would show. Okay, like for example for Honda, you have the Honda CVT temperature right here, but then my car is a Toyota, so it doesn't have that. So yeah, it actually really depends on different kind of car. All right, okay, so yeah, you can really customize anything you want to display, to show. Okay, then you also can change the logo. For example, okay, you see this logo right here. Okay, all I have to do is press this again, display setup, item setup. Okay, and then you go to this. Now the logo, you have a lot of logos you can choose from. You can see, yep, you can just choose the one that actually suits your car. All right, and let's go back, settings. Okay, display setup again. Now next one will be the item color setup. So I press on this. So basically you can choose the color. Okay, let me just focus better because it's a bit too bright. All right, so for much better. Okay, so from here you can actually configure whatever you want to change. So you have endless customizability to your likings, so you can suit your likings. All right, so basically the title you can change, the brightness. So you can see it actually changes the title. You also can change the number as well if you want to, the number, the unit, the RPM bar, all this you want different colors. Yeah, you can do however you want it. Okay, so this one, let your imagination go wild and change however you want it. Okay, so next will be all this. So here are other different things, the dimmer. So basically, let's say if you don't want manual, you press on it auto. So auto basically, let's say when it's a sunny day, this one becomes bright, and night the screen becomes dark. All right, okay, then next will be warning setup. So if you click on warning setup, so basically this one is very useful, especially if you look at the voltage. So this one, let's say if you're driving and then suddenly you notice that it beeps and tells you that voltage is below 11 Celsius, then you know, okay, something is wrong with your battery, something is not right. So it tells you beforehand before it actually dies, which is very, very good because it actually prevents you from stopping at the side of the road. Okay, same goes for water temperature and oil temperature. So this one, if you passes the threshold, you know that something is not right. Okay, you need to fix it immediately, which is nice. Okay, and then next you will be time attack mode. So for time attack mode, you can choose whether you want 0 to 100 kilometers per hour or 0 to 200 kilometers per hour. Now this one is much more accurate now because this one actually uses GPS to sense your speed, which is very, very cool. Okay, and then you got DCT data. So this one basically diagnostic trouble code error. So let's say if you've got any code errors, right, you can just clear it. Okay, you want to read it also can. All right. Okay, now I go back. Okay, then this is the ECU data. Okay, so this one you can configure, you can see. All right, other setups, user data. Now this will be in the something new, so the G meter and gyro setup. You click on it, so here you can calibrate it, you can change the G meter range, okay, the absolute pitch and roll warning. All right, then you continue. So this is the GPS setup, so whether the coordinates you want in degree or any other unit, everything will be inside here. Now if for some reason the clock that's being displayed here is different from where you're from, what you can do is you can go to system setup, you go inside, you go to GPS time, you press on it. From here you can choose the clock format, whether you want 24 hours or 12 hours. This is where you're going to change it on a time zone difference. You just press on it, you can increase the number of hours until it actually suits where you're from. Now if you own a manual car, what you can do, right, is on the system setup, you go to speed for gear position, you click inside, you can see you can select the gear position range, or you can also select the specific speed you want to shift from the first gear to the second gear. Yes, all the way up to 9 gears. So it lets you know when to shift, which is quite nice. Now you can also set the odometer on the Lufi device itself. So what you can do is go under display setup, you go to all the way towards the bottom where it says sets odo. So from here you just press on this and you can just change the value until it's exactly the same as the mileage shown on your car. Here's another thing that a lot of people don't know. Under system setup, you can see it shows PID time loop, right? So this one you can see is now 240 ms. So the lower the value of this, the better the response of the device itself. So you can set it based on your likings, but it's recommended to not go below 90 ms. And if for some reason the device isn't working as it should, or let's say you want to just set everything back to default, under system setup, you just press on reset settings. You just press on this, are you sure? And you press one more time, it resets everything back to default. Okay, and if you don't know anything, still don't know anything, everything you can press on this one about product, and this one tells you everything if inside. Okay, yeah, and I think that's about it. This device, the Lufi-xf, will soon be available worldwide, so yep, stay tuned for it. I really enjoyed this device, so I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. Alright, thanks for watching, bye.
This product comes preloaded with custom data packages for most car models. Please navigate to the user PID folder to access the data package that matches your car brand. If your dashboard version is too old and lacks this folder, please contact our engineer at lufigauge@outlook.com. He will provide the corresponding PID data package for your vehicle brand. Important reminders for PID customization. Due to differences in car brands, corresponding models, and production dates, the system's default functionality may not be able to read certain PIDs, such as oil pressure, oil temperature, transmission pressure, and transmission temperature. You may need to individually call and test each corresponding PID to see if it works on your specific vehicle. It is possible that most PIDs are not compatible with your car. If data such as oil temperature or oil pressure, transmission temperature or pressure is important to you, and the PID data packet is not suitable for your vehicle, you can use a tool like the Launch OBD2 diagnostic scanner to find the corresponding PID parameters and send them to our engineers. Our engineers will then create a custom PID data packet specifically for you. Setup menu user data setup. You can use the up and down keys to select the corresponding data package based on your car brand when you see different car brand data packages on the C drive. After selecting the appropriate brand, press the confirm button to proceed. We see that the Volkswagen brand includes Audi and some other sub-brands. We select the corresponding sub-brand based on the vehicle model. You can select the corresponding data packets and test them one by one. Not all data packets are compatible with your vehicle, requiring careful review and testing. If a green OK appears and the test number matches your car's corresponding parameter data, this PID is likely suitable for your vehicle. If it is not suitable, a red N aura will appear, and you will need to try other similar PIDs for testing. After the green OK appears, you can perform a data accuracy test. Press the back key to open the Request Test menu. If the test number does not match your vehicle's data, then it is not suitable for your car, and you need to test other PIDs one by one. Like mentioned above, this PID is not suitable for your car. You need to try other PIDs with the same file name for testing. If the PID parameters you configured are for oil temperature or oil pressure, turbine pressure or transmission temperature, these PIDs can be synchronized to the internal data. If the data is not synchronized, the PID that was just set will be in user data 1, and this data will not have the warning function. It needs to be clarified that only some critical data can be synchronized. Not all data has the synchronization capability. So the first PID parameter is set. You can now return to the main menu of the instrument to set other usable PID parameters. How to view and display custom PID data. Open System Settings, Display Settings, Instrument Type Settings. Press the confirmation key to enter the function settings, find user data, select the previously defined PID, and then you can proceed with the configuration. If your vehicle is from Toyota, Honda, Volkswagen, Mazda, or BMW, please use the System Setup Choose System function to select the dedicated system for your specific brand for better support. If your vehicle is a Honda, the dedicated Honda system has added auxiliary door lock functions, speed activated locking, gear position activated locking, emergency braking light flashing, and door opening alerts, as well as parking light flashing. If you do not like these functions, you can turn off the corresponding features at Setup, Menu, Other Setup. Volkswagen and Mazda brands also have door opening alert functions. If you do not like them, you can also disable these functions at Setup, Menu, Other Setup. Customer satisfaction is our service tenet. Should you encounter any issues while using our products, please feel free to contact our engineer at lufigauge@outlook.com. We are always at your service.